Our anime begins with Chan, an ordinary, simple young man who lives with his family and studies at university. What he loves most are history books, and he spends long hours reading them. One day, he goes online searching for a new book to add to his collection. He soon finds a book that fascinates him deeply, so he heads to the place where it is sold. From the very first moment, he feels that the atmosphere is strange and unsettling. He quickly grabs the book he wants. Suddenly, he hears someone speaking, and the lights go out, then turn back on. Chan immediately screams and runs outside. He tells himself that the place is definitely haunted. What matters to him is that he got the book. But as we all know, good things never come without a price. Suddenly, he collides with a girl who is running away from a street gang. The gang catches up to the girl, beats her brutally, and steals her money. Chan watches what is happening, too afraid to intervene. The real shock comes when his book falls to the ground. The gang leader notices it and picks it up. When he realizes it is just a history book, he says he will use its pages as toilet paper. At that moment, Chan asks him to return the book because it belongs to him. The leader mocks him, refuses to give it back, and challenges him to see what he can do. Chan becomes furious, his blood boiling. He grabs the book and strikes the gang leader, then runs away at full speed. The leader chases after him. After some time, Chan reaches a park. He looks behind him and sees no one. He thinks he has escaped, but he is wrong. A magical barrier suddenly appears, surrounding the area. The leader arrives and tells Chan that he had no idea he had just attacked the strongest mage in the city and the owner of the strongest weapon. By weapon, he means a giant humanoid figure. Most powerful mages possess weapons that take human form. For simplicity, they are called assistants. The leader's assistant attacks Chan with an air strike that sends him flying. This is followed by brutal blows that sever his limbs. Chan suffers horrific injuries. The leader is not satisfied. He kicks and humiliates him, calling him nothing but trash. Chan bleeds abnormally and approaches death. He wishes to live and says he did nothing wrong. He explains that he only wanted his book back. Before he can finish speaking, he is suddenly transported to a strange place. He hears a voice comforting him, telling him that he will help him. In the real world, an enormous energy explosion fills the area. A man appears. His name is Bai. The leader's assistant charges at him at full speed. Bai blocks the attack with just one finger. It becomes clear that Bai exists on a completely different level. He heals Chan using recovery magic. When Chan wakes up, he is shocked to see that all his wounds have completely vanished. At that very moment, the assistant launches a powerful attack toward them. The attack has no effect on Bai whatsoever. Bai becomes enraged by what happened. He unleashes a legendary magical strike. The entire area is destroyed. The assistant dies, and the gang leader dies as well. After that, Bai removes the magical barrier. He goes to Chan's house to rest for a while. The next day, Chan goes out into the street with Bai and tells him that he wants to understand what happened. Bai calmly explains that when Chan was on the verge of death, he summoned him, and that Bai is a magical weapon manifested in human form. However, his magic is weak, so he is not at full power, and his memories are highly fragmented. Chan laughs and tells Bai not to worry, saying that everything will be fine, and asks him to go home for now. Bai agrees, and they return together. Suddenly, while they are sitting, Chan's mother calls him and tells him that someone wants to see him. Chan hides Bai and goes outside, only to be surprised by a beautiful girl who tells him she is his university classmate and wants to take a walk with him. He feels very embarrassed and hesitant, but agrees. On the way, he apologizes, saying they never really got to know each other. She tells him her name is Sue, then immediately summons two people and reveals that she actually brought him here to make a deal and take his weapon. As she speaks, the weapon himself arrives. Yes, Bai has come. He approaches Sue and flirts with her using a few gentle words. She is impressed by him when she sees his appearance. Chan stands in the background, completely ignored. Then he steps forward, stops everything, and tells Sue that he will never give Bai to her. He takes his weapon and returns home. Bai sits with him and explains more about weapons. He tells him that all weapons come from the giant arsenal, and that weapons are either once wielded by legendary warriors or are unique legendary weapons from the beginning. Weapons are divided into 4 levels: Level 4, the weakest. Then Level 3, Level 2, and Level 1. Some legends speak of a Level 0, which is said to be terrifying beyond imagination. Bai adds that he is currently Level 2, but his power is incomplete and his memories are unstable due to Chan's weak magical energy. When weapons leave the arsenal, they take human form and go to the warrior who summoned them, as happened with Chan. Bai continues and tells him that in the coming days, a tournament between warriors will be held. The winner will gain 2 things, glory and an infinite number of wishes. Chan is overjoyed and says that he will finally fix his life, improve his situation, and make his father proud. Bai responds in disbelief and asks him what kind of life he wants to fix, explaining that even the smallest wish could be to become the king of Earth and rule the entire world. Chan is completely shocked and decides that he will participate in the tournament no matter the cost. On the other side, Sue is seen sitting and thinking about Chan. She says to herself that he is just a weak, poor person. So how did he obtain a weapon like Bai? While she belongs to a powerful family and has 2 low-level weapons, she decides to harass him in every possible way. He starts receiving fake phone calls constantly. In the street, he finds papers saying he is stupid and should be sent to a mental hospital. People mock and laugh at him. After several days, she tries to negotiate with him again, but he refuses and tells her that he needs Bai badly in the coming period because he will participate in the Warriors tournament. Sue is shocked and furious because she also wants to join the same tournament. She asks him to give up the idea, but he refuses. Enraged, she creates a magical barrier and orders her assistants to attack immediately. Each of them enters combat form, and Bai does the same. The battle begins, blows are exchanged at incredible speed, and Bai is able to fend off both of them at the same time. Suddenly, 2 people appear and stop the fight. Chan asks who they are and what they want. The black-haired young man answers that his name is Otto, and that his companion is Long, and that they came to take Sue to their leader. When Chan hears this, he decides to act bravely and tells Otto that he does not agree to them taking Sue. Otto becomes furious and immediately summons his weapon. At that moment, Bai seizes the opportunity and attacks him at full speed, but a woman suddenly appears and blocks the strike. At the same time, Sue orders her 2 weapons to attack. They launch powerful blows at Otto's assistant, but he blocks them. They try again, but to no avail. Sue orders them to activate their secret skill. They do so, and Otto's assistant feels a strange weakness spreading through his body. Realizing that the situation is over and that death is inevitable, Otto retreats along with his companions. Afterward, Chan takes Bai, Sue, and her assistants to a cafe. They sit together and agree that they must form an alliance for the upcoming period. This is Chan's idea, while Sue has no real choice because she has become a target. Thus, they become unofficial allies. Chan asks Sue 2 questions: how a person obtains a weapon, and who the people who attacked them were. She explains that a person normally summons a weapon through simple rituals, but Bai's summoning was a unique and special case. Each person can summon a maximum of 2 weapons. As for their attackers, they are members of a large organization whose sole goal is to collect magical weapons to participate in the tournament. Chan tells her that he will also participate. She says that is fine, but warns him to be extremely careful, because these tournaments are very dangerous. Chan replies confidently that he will not fight himself anyway. She calls him an idiot and explains that he will fight whether he likes it or not. She tells him to remember the duel with the gang leader he died even though Bai's attack did not strike him directly, but struck his weapon instead. That is the real danger. If a person's weapon dies, the person dies as well. Their souls are linked. If one dies, the other follows. Chan is completely shocked and overwhelmed with fear. On the other side, we see the members of the organization gathered together. Otto reports everything that happened to their leader. The leader explodes in anger and yells at him, asking how he failed to defeat them. When Otto tries to explain, the leader cuts him off and says that what matters now is preparing for the tournament, because it is very close. This is the event they have been waiting for years, and it seems that things are about to spiral out of control. We return to our protagonist, Chan, who decides to participate in the tournament despite everything he has heard. Sue tells him that she will take him to her house so he can train for a while. He agrees, and everyone heads to her home. Chan is shocked by how massive the mansion is and tells Sue that he cannot stay long because he did not inform his parents. She reassures him, saying there is no need to worry because she has already taken care of everything. Chan does not understand what she means, but the moment he enters the house, he realizes it immediately. His mother is sitting there, calmly drinking tea. Sue takes Chan to another room and explains that she brought his mother here out of fear that someone might harm her. She also sent an invitation to his father, but he refused because he was busy. She then tells Chan that she wants him to summon a second weapon, since each person can possess up to 2 weapons, while he currently has only 1. Naturally, Chan does not refuse. Sue explains how to perform the summoning ritual. Chan follows the instructions and succeeds, summoning a small girl named Jiggy. The girl pledges her loyalty to Chan for life, and we learn that she is level 2, just like Bai. While this is happening, Sue announces that the food is ready, and everyone goes to have dinner. They are all shocked by how delicious the food looks. Even Sue herself is surprised and wonders who prepared it, because her chefs have never made anything like this before. It turns out that Chan's mother cooked everything. Everyone begins eating and is extremely impressed, especially the assistants. We also learn that the male assistant is named Blue, and the female assistant is named Red. After dinner, Chan and Bai head to the hot baths to relax. Bai talks to Chan and asks him why he helped Sue. Chan replies that Sue is a kind girl because she worried about his family and brought them here. Of course, he never says this to her directly. It is simply how he truly feels. At that moment, we see Sue standing nearby. Having heard the entire conversation, she feels deeply embarrassed and quietly leaves. Later, Chan's mother decides to leave because her husband is alone and will surely need her. Sue tries to stop her, but she insists on going. After that, Sue tells Chan to get some rest, since intense training awaits him and the tournament is approaching. Chan agrees and goes to sleep. The next day, Chan wakes up and begins training with everyone, doing his best to strengthen himself in combat. After training, he goes out with Sue and the rest of the team to buy a book he wanted. Halfway there, Chan tells them that the shop is nearby and that he will go alone. Sue tells him that is fine. The moment Chan walks away, that same young boy suddenly appears. He seems angry for some reason and immediately summons his weapon. Sensing danger, Sue activates a magical barrier. Without hesitation, Blue shifts into his combat form and attacks the weapon, and the battle begins. Unfortunately, the attack is blocked. The weapon, known as Sora, counters with extremely powerful strikes, and the fight intensifies. Suddenly, and unexpectedly, Blue is struck in the face. Red also transforms into her combat form and launches a joint attack with Blue. They unleash their combined strike, but the result is not what they hoped for. The attack has absolutely no effect on Sora, if anything. It only enrages him further. Sora turns towards Sue and launches a legendary magical attack at her. The blow nearly hits its mark, but at the very last moment, Chan, the hero of desperate situations, arrives and saves her. Sora tries to attack again, but Bai intercepts him instantly and activates a magical shield that protects everyone. Within seconds, Bai realizes that Sora's power is level 1, the level of legends. Sora is shocked when he sees Bai and recognizes him. Bai asks if he knows who he is. Before Sora can answer, the child suddenly screams in agony, clutching his head as a loud voice echoes inside it, calling out to him. Sora rushes to his side to help him, and we learn that the child's name is Kai. In the end, Sora takes the boy and tells them that he will meet them again another time, then leaves through a teleportation gate. Everyone disperses and returns home to rest, as the battle was extremely exhausting. The next day, Chan wakes up to find his father at home. Suddenly, his father starts questioning him about where he has been during the past few days. Chan replies that he was busy with important matters he needed to take care of. His father becomes furious and yells at him, saying that he is useless and worthless, someone good for nothing. He then adds that he knows very well that Chan has been at Sue's house. Chan does not want to explain the truth of what he is doing, so he simply tells his father that Sue is a respectable girl and that he is working on important things. His father's anger only grows stronger, and he warns Chan never to meet that girl again. Feeling deeply hurt, Chan leaves the house to wander the streets for a while. Meanwhile, Sue is sitting when she suddenly receives a visit from someone of great importance, the King of Magic. He tells her that the coming period will be filled with many dangerous events and that she must be extremely careful. Before she can even respond, a message arrives on her phone. When she opens it, she sees a video of Kai holding several bound people while flames ignite around them. Sue quickly excuses herself from the King of Magic and leaves immediately. She sets out to search for Kai with her assistants. She calls Chan and tells him that something extremely dangerous has happened and asks him to go to her house and stay there because there is a high chance that the organizations may attack at any moment. Chan agrees, and she ends the call. About 10 minutes later, Sue arrives at the location shown in the video, but she finds no burned bodies. She immediately realizes that it was a trap. She tries to call Chan to warn him, but someone strikes her phone and shatters it. She turns to see who did it and is shocked to find a girl from the major organization named Queen, accompanied by Kai and his assistant Sora. Blue and Red both shift into their combat forms. At that moment, Queen launches a powerful attack aimed directly at Sue. Fortunately, Blue saves her at the last second. Sue is completely shocked Queen is human, yet she possesses abnormal power. If she were a human weapon, it would make sense. But what is happening now is extremely strange and unsettling. Queen speaks to Sue, telling her that a pampered girl who lives in a massive palace like she does could never understand what Queen went through to reach this level of power. Blue decides to end things and activates a special combined attack with Red, an attack that can wound an enemy without physically touching them. The shock comes when the attack, which once affected even the strongest opponents in the world, has absolutely no effect on Queen. Queen charges at Blue at incredible speed. Despite his repeated attempts to dodge, she eventually lands a devastating blow that seriously injures him. Red rushes in to attack, but Queen counters with a powerful kick that sends her flying, then electrocutes both of them with a violent lightning strike. Their screams echo from the pain. Sue stands completely helpless, unable to do anything. Queen does not stop there and continues her merciless assault. Sue collapses in tears and screams at Blue and Red to surrender, because if they continue like this, they will die. They respond by telling her that they have lived with her all this time, and even though she always saw them as mere weapons, they consider her their daughter. For that reason, they cannot surrender now. Either they die protecting her, or they fight until their last breath in the end. The result is the same. Conflicting emotions surge within Sue, and a strange light appears. Blue and Red return to their original forms, their true weapon forms. Sue grabs them, her eyes filled with overwhelming rage. On the other side, some of Sue's friends go to her house and inform Chan that an attack from the organization is about to happen. Chan quickly thinks of a clever plan and puts it into action. Shortly afterward, a battalion of soldiers arrives, led by Otto and Long. Jiggy confronts them alone. Otto realizes what is happening and orders his assistant to attack. Jiggy pretends to flee, and due to Otto's recklessness, he chases after her, with Long following as well. Before leaving, Long orders the soldiers to seize the location, believing it is now defenseless. The soldiers attempt to storm the building, only to find Bai and Sue's friends waiting for them. The battle erupts instantly. Sue's allies unleash an overwhelming assault, taking down half of the soldiers within seconds. Bai finishes off the rest with a devastating magical strike that shakes the entire area and slams them to the ground. Chan tries to stop him, but it is all in vain. Bai delivers the final blow, ending all of their lives. Chan feels deeply troubled, but Bai tells him that he must not show mercy to his enemies. If he has truly decided to participate in the tournament, then he must learn cruelty. We return to Sue, who charges toward Queen and attacks her with a powerful strike that Queen barely manages to block. Sue repeats her attacks until she finally lands a hit, sending Queen flying back into a wall. Queen has reached her absolute limit, but she gathers the last of her strength and unleashes one final magical attack. Sue dodges it at the last second, seizes the opening and counterattacks with fire magic, striking Queen directly. Realizing that the situation has completely turned against her, Queen flees the scene. Kai does the same and escapes. Su collapses to the ground, completely exhausted after consuming an enormous amount of energy. On the other side, Jiggy stops running. Otto orders his assistant to attack. The assistant charges, but Jiggy blocks the strike with her sword. A ninja girl attempts to ambush her, but fails when Bai arrives at the perfect moment and deflects the attack with his magic. Otto mocks them, saying they truly believe they can defeat him, then orders his assistant and the ninja girl to begin the battle. The ninja disappears instantly, while the assistant clashes violently with Bai. Chan becomes extremely anxious. He realizes that the ninja could ambush Bai at any moment and kill him. Thinking quickly, Chan rushes toward Otto and orders Jiggy to attack him. She nearly succeeds, but the ninja suddenly appears and blocks the strike. Bai sees the situation and realizes it is the perfect opportunity. He releases his crystal magic attack, but Otto's assistant activates a barrier and saves the situation. But the disasters do not stop there. In a split second, the ninja lunges at Chan with her dagger. Blood spills onto the ground, but the greatest shock is that it is not Chan's blood. It is Jiji's blood. She took the blow in his place, sacrificing herself to save him. Despite her severe wound, she pushes the ninja backward and says firmly, "Do not ever harm my master." Then she begins to cry from the intense pain. She turns to Chan and apologizes in a broken voice, saying she is sorry she could not stay with him longer and protect him. Suddenly, her voice fades. Her body goes completely still. Chan tries to wake her, but she does not respond. He breaks down in grief and screams at the top of his lungs. Otto, however, does not care and immediately orders his assistant to continue fighting Bai. The assistant attacks, but Bai stops all of his blows with a single hand. To be clear, these attacks are not weak at all. Their force is so intense that they literally slice through tree leaves. Bai tries to get Chan to focus, but Chan is completely shattered by grief. At that moment, the assistant seizes the opportunity and surprises Bai with an extremely powerful strike, sending him flying backward. He approaches, preparing to finish Bai off, but just in time, reinforcements arrive. Yes, Blue and Red enter the battlefield and immediately launch an attack, with Su alongside them. She rushes straight to Jiggy and asks about her condition. Chan tells her that Jiggy is dead. Su firmly tells him not to rush to judgment and asks him to stay calm. She checks Jiggy's heartbeat and is shocked to discover that she is still alive. Without hesitation, she activates 2 spells at once, a healing spell and another spell to return Jiggy to her original weapon form. She explains to Chan that Jiggy's body has already begun healing, but returning her to her weapon form is necessary for faster recovery without consuming too much energy. Otto is stunned by what he sees. Su had just finished an extremely intense battle, and her magical energy should have been nearly depleted. Yet she cast 2 spells simultaneously. Su explains that her 3 friends lent her a portion of their own energy. Meanwhile, Blue and Red fight the assistant fiercely, raining down relentless attacks while he struggles to keep up, making things even worse for him. Bai manages to fully recover his power. Something feels abnormal, but Otto declares that the situation is worsening. Even so, he says he will not run this time. This day is different. He will reveal his secret skill. Long warns him not to do it, saying that if the leader finds out, Otto will be severely punished. Otto insists that there is no other choice and activates the skill instantly. Suddenly, the assistant's power increases unnaturally. Blue senses the overwhelming aura flooding the entire area. Red shows no hesitation and attacks with her sword, but the assistant blocks it effortlessly and calmly. Blue gathers his courage and attacks as well. But the shock comes when the assistant stops him and says this will not end so easily. He unleashes powerful strikes that knock Blue and Red backward. Then he activates a magical technique that allows him to absorb the power of the stars into his sword. Once enough power is gathered, he releases the attack, and its force is terrifying beyond imagination. Bai tries to block the attack and barely manages to hold it back. Within seconds, he realizes he cannot last more than 30 seconds, because his magical energy has already been heavily drained. Seeing this, Chan rushes toward Bai and transfers magical energy to him. The shocking truth is revealed: Chan's power is not as weak as everyone believed. Bai absorbs the energy and launches a counterattack, but it fails. At that moment, a clever idea strikes him, absorbing the assistant's attack itself. He executes the plan and succeeds. The assistant stands frozen in disbelief, wondering how this is possible, as this was one of his strongest attacks. Bai gives him no time to think and releases his final strike, slamming the assistant to the ground and leaving him completely unable to move. Otto transforms his assistant back into weapon form, carries him, and flees the battlefield. Blue, Red, and Sue rush to Chan, who has lost consciousness due to extreme energy exhaustion. Elsewhere, Otto and Long stand in a forest. Suddenly, without any warning, Bai appears and strikes Long with a powerful blow, killing him instantly. Otto stands frozen in shock, unable to comprehend what just happened. Realizing that staying even one more second means certain death, he flees. Minutes later, Otto reaches headquarters and tells the organization's leader, Timo, everything that happened. Timo explodes in rage. At that moment, the King of Magic appears and tells him that he cannot remain silent about what is happening. It becomes clear that the King of Magic is planning something. Timo declares that he will not let them escape their actions and that he will avenge Long's death, then leaves. On the other side, Chan stands face to face with the organization's leader, who appears alongside Otto and Queen. Otto asks what brought him back after his defeat, but Timo interrupts and says he did not come to talk, he came only to face Bai. The moment Bai hears this, he attacks immediately using a magical bow. Timo dodges the attack, uses instantaneous teleportation, and strikes Bai from behind. We learn that this ability is extremely rare, and that Timo possesses another terrifying skill: time manipulation. Each time he is injured, he rewinds time by 1 minute and completely heals his body. However, these abilities have a flaw: they can be countered through prediction. In other words, if you can anticipate Timo's movements, you can keep up with him in battle. The fight continues, and the shock is that Bai actually manages to predict and evade the attacks. Blow after blow, the battle reaches its peak. Meanwhile, Sue's friends carry out Chan's orders, placing several trees in a specific arrangement. Once finished, they signal him. Chan activates a strange spell and suddenly transforms into a different, imposing form. At the same time, the King of Magic watches from afar and realizes that the battle is no longer in Timo's favor. He decides to intervene personally and attacks Chan at full speed, but the sheer intensity of Chan's magical aura forces him to retreat. Chan confronts him, saying that he pretends to be on their side, but in reality works only for his own benefit and wants to harm everyone, that he is truly despicable. In the middle of this tension, Otto suddenly shouts that he has nothing to do with any of this, that he will take revenge and will not let Long's blood be wasted, and that he will avenge him by killing Bai. Everyone is stunned. Bai responds that despite his hatred for them, he does not kill those who flee the battlefield. Otto freezes in shock. At that moment, Timo declares that the truth has been revealed: the King of Magic possesses a hidden ability no one knew about: form duplication. This means that Bai did not kill anyone. The king duplicated Bai's appearance and committed the act himself. A revelation beyond belief. Chan asks the King of Magic about his true plan. The king refuses to explain and decides to leave. Chan throws his spear at him, but a massive magical circle appears and saves the king. At that moment, Kai and Sora arrive, and at the same instant, the King of Magic vanishes. Bai feels a strange sensation and suddenly finds himself transported to another place. In front of him lies a magical stone. The moment he touches it, a vague memory floods his mind, a voice telling him, "Help the weak." We return to the present, and Bai's aura surges dramatically. Timo realizes that Chan, Sue, and the others are not his true enemies. The real enemy is the King of Magic. He immediately orders Otto's assistant and Queen to attack Sora, but Sora easily pushes them away using his limbs. Within moments, the two launch another combined assault, and this time Timo joins in as well. The greatest shock is that Sora blocks every single strike effortlessly. Chan cannot stand there and watch anymore, so he enters the battlefield and Bai joins him. As for Su, she transforms blue and red into sword form. Everyone attacks together, strikes from every direction, right and left, above and below, and the battle explodes with violent intensity. Bai decides to end it. He fires an arrow loaded with an enormous amount of magical energy, and it hits Sora. Sora is furious. Without warning, he opens a dimensional gate and drags everyone inside. Su tries to attack him, but fails because of an invisible barrier he has placed around himself. Bai and Su's allies attempt to strike as well, but it is useless. Then it gets even worse when Sora releases magical lightning at them, forcing them to retreat at the last second. Meanwhile, Kai approaches Sora. With no warning at all, he pierces into his body and casts a control spell on him. The two fuse together, and that strange dimension collapses completely. Everyone returns to the real world, and they are stunned by Kai's new form. Chan immediately tells Teemo to attack together with Queen and Otto's assistant. The three execute an explosive triple spell aimed at Kai, but Kai blocks it with ease and says dismissively that it is incredibly simple. But the real shock comes when Kai sees Chan and Bai beginning to fuse. Kai hastily activates the legendary magic of the mythical stone and fires it at Chan, trying to end things before the situation spirals out of control. But in a fraction of a second, Chan activates a spell that reverses the attack. The blow rebounds instantly, strikes Kai directly, and eliminates him for good. Elsewhere, Chan's mother is sitting at home. Suddenly, a mysterious figure appears behind her, and she collapses unconscious. Chan tries to contact her, but she does not respond. He rushes back home and is horrified by what he finds. His mother is unconscious, and his father is missing. Without hesitation, he takes his mother to the hospital, where she is admitted to intensive care. Chan stands there, anxious and terrified for her. Su tries to comfort him, while Bai tells him there is no time for talking and that they must search for the King of Magic. Chan snaps and scolds him, saying he thought Bai had feelings, but now he realizes he is only a weapon. His mother is in the IQ, and he asks Bai whether he has ever felt fear for someone precious to him. Hearing these words, Bai is struck by a strange memory. Without warning, deep sadness overwhelms him, and he leaves. Jiggy is sad as well. She goes out and sits alone. One of Su's friends comes to her and asks why she is upset. Jiggy admits she fears she is not strong enough, and that she feels Chan sees her as a burden. The young man smiles and tells her to remember Chan's actions toward her to understand her true value to him. Jiggy thinks back and remembers how Chan used to hold her with worry and concern. She realizes he respects her, fears for her, and does not treat her as a burden. She thanks the boy for his words. Elsewhere, Chan stands alone. Su approaches and tells him she understands his fear for his mother, because she lost her own mother when she was young. But she also tells him he should not have spoken to Bai that way, because Bai did not intend to hurt him. Chan is affected by her words and feels guilty. At that moment, Bai returns. Su says she will leave the two of them alone and walks away. Bai apologizes to Chan, and Chan replies that it is fine that the mistake was not Bai's alone, but his as well. The two realize their error, reconcile, and things return to normal between them. Bai stands lost in thought, remembering an old friend named Taili. We learn that Bai and Taili shared a powerful friendship decades ago, long before Bai ever met Chan. Back then, monsters invaded the world, and Taili was the one who stood against them. There was no way to stop them except by sacrificing his life, and tragically, he truly did it. As Bai relives these memories, he realizes that his memory is gradually returning day by day, not all at once. He decides to let things unfold naturally. The next morning, everyone gathers and agrees on the plan they will follow to eliminate the King of Magic. After finalizing everything, they use an instantaneous teleportation gate and head toward the cave suspected to contain the king. They move through the cave until disaster strikes. Su steps on a trap, and in an instant, sharp arrows shoot toward her. Teemo reacts with legendary speed and deflects the arrows at the perfect moment. At the same time, a hologram of the King of Magic appears, with Chan's father bound beside him. The king tells them that only Chan and Bai are allowed to enter. If anyone else enters, the father will be considered dead. Without hesitation, the two of them go through the gate. Within seconds, Bai is transported to the weapon gate, while Chan arrives in the area where the King of Magic stands. Chan is confused and does not understand what is happening. So the king calmly explains that terrible disasters are coming, monsters, demons, total destruction, and someone with Chan's abilities will be unable to do anything. Instead, he would only waste Bai's power. So the king offers him a contract to take ownership of Bai, in exchange for guaranteeing Chan's safety and the safety of his family. Chan refuses and tells him to speak to Bai himself. At that moment, Bai arrives with a majestic entrance and delivers a powerful strike that tears the king's mask apart. And then the greatest shock happens. The king's face is revealed, and it turns out he is Tyler, Bai's old friend. A revelation that shakes the heart. Bai stands frozen, staring at the man who was once his closest friend, barely able to believe what he is seeing. Tyler offers Bai to join him so they can return to what they once were, but this time, not to protect the world, but to destroy it. Bai is furious at those words and attacks, but Tyler blocks the strike and activates an electric spell that shocks both Bai and Chan at the same time. Elsewhere, Sue and her friends continue through the cave. Suddenly, the king's soldiers appear before them, the soldiers of Tyler. Without hesitation, everyone launches an overwhelming assault, each one using their magic at full power. Within moments, the entire army is wiped out. We return to Chan, suffering from the effects of the lightning. He tries to fuse with Bai, but the fusion fails. Tyler laughs mockingly and tells them they have seen nothing yet. Then he activates a gravity spell, completely paralyzing both of them. He walks up to Bai and stomps on his head so hard the ground trembles, and he demands one last time that Bai join him. Bai refuses and says he has only one master, Chan. Chan is stunned by these words, while Tyler's anger grows. Tyler activates a memory erasure spell on Bai and tells Chan that within minutes, Bai will forget him and remember only Tyler. Even though he cannot move, Chan crawls across the ground toward Bai. Tyler kicks him and beats him brutally, but Chan refuses to stop. He reaches Bai and clutches him, begging him not to forget. He tells him he is his precious friend, and that he no longer sees him as a weapon, even if he did at the beginning. He tells Bai that the time they spent together made him more than just a friend, and he begs him to wake up. The scene shifts to a dark world where Bai is drowning. Chan appears, grabs him, and says he will never leave him. He pulls him upward. A tremendous light erupts, and the full fusion between Chan and Bai finally happens. At that moment, Tyler tries to attack, but Chan blocks the blow with one hand as if it were nothing. Tyler attacks again. Chan grabs Tyler's weapon and shatters it, then launches a storm of consecutive, brutal strikes. Tyler can barely breathe under the speed and violence of the blows. Chan tells him that he has harmed countless people and killed innocents, and that he must be punished. He keeps striking until Tyler is bleeding heavily. Then Chan delivers the finishing blow in a deserted area, a final strike so powerful it nearly splits the earth itself. Tyler collapses, and his body fades away. In the same instant, Chan separates from Bai, rushes to his father, frees him, and supports him, reassuring him that he is here. But suddenly, without any warning, his father grabs Chan by the throat and begins choking him. The moment freezes on that horrifying scene. And if you thought the disasters would end here, you are wrong. In a blink, Chan's father, whose name we now learn is Saki, summons an immensely powerful sword with a majestic appearance and nearly kills our hero. But at that moment, the rest of the group arrives and saves him. Jigi helps Chan stand and reassures him that she will protect him. Chan tries to speak to his father, but it is useless. Things only get worse when Saki swings his sword and releases a massive wave of air that fills the entire area, proof that his level is far beyond anything they expected. Suddenly, the ground begins to tremble. Saki tells them that he will meet them again another time, then opens a magical gate and leaves. It feels as if a major catastrophe is about to happen. After that, each member of the team returns home to rest. Chan returns as well. But he finds no peace. Instead, he begins searching for anything that could explain what is happening. Unfortunately, he finds no answers until he comes across that ring. At that moment, Bai tells him to hand over the ring quickly. Chan gives it to him and asks why. Bai replies that a strange magical energy is emanating from it. Chan is shocked and tells him that this ring is his father and mother's wedding ring. Bai then says that everything is now clear. He explains that while they were at the hospital, he sensed that the reason Chan's mother was suffering was magical energy, but he did not want to say anything until he confirmed it. And now, his suspicions were correct. Chan asks what he means. Bai answers bluntly. It looks as if Chan's father is the one who harmed his mother whether he was being controlled or not. But Bai is certain that Saki is the cause of what happened. Chan freezes in shock, barely able to process what he is hearing. Elsewhere, during a music concert, Saki enters the venue. A young man tries to stop him, but loses consciousness in an instant and collapses to the ground. At the same moment, a mysterious woman appears and tells Saki that he carried out exactly what they agreed on. We return to Chan, who has gathered with the rest of the team. While they are standing together, a massive explosion occurs, and they all rush toward the source. On the other side, the mysterious woman whose name we learn is Lara is engaged in a fierce battle against Timo. She trades heavy blows with him, turns the tide in her favor, grabs him, slams him violently to the ground, and delivers a powerful kick that sends him flying. Queen and Otto's assistant, who are present, become enraged and attack her. Queen strikes first, but Lara stops her effortlessly and breaks her arm. Otto's assistant seizes the opening and unleashes a legendary strike, yet Lara blocks it as well and knocks him to the ground. At that moment, Chan and the others arrive. Chan speaks to his father calmly, asking him to explain what is going on. Saki tells him that he is not under anyone's control. He simply possesses magical power like others. When Chan was born, his body was weak and he did not inherit that power, and that angered Saki. Then Saki continues. Later, Chan summoned the strongest weapon in the world by the weapon everyone is desperate to control. And in Saki's eyes, Bai should have been his, not in the hands of a child like Chan. So Saki planned to take Bai from him. He made an agreement with Tyler to stage a deception that would convince everyone that Saki was being controlled so that later he could seize Bai and then seize control of the world. He insists that everything was going according to plan until Chan interfered. But he will not abandon his goal, and he will take Bai no matter the cost. Chan explodes in rage and asks if Saki ever thought about his mother. Saki answers that those are meaningless trivialities. At that same moment, Su transforms red and blue into weapon form and unleashes her strongest attack, the exploding meteor. But the shock is that Lara is not affected at all. Bai attacks as well, launching a rapid chain of consecutive strikes. Yet Lara blocks every blow and counters with a strike that sends Bai flying. Then she activates a power enhancement spell that knocks everyone down. Chan searches for a solution and remembers an ancient spell he once read about in a book, one that can unleash a magical attack of unimaginable force. But it requires 4 people whose energy is above half and who are not exhausted. Su explains that everyone is completely drained, except for Bai, red, and blue. As for Gigi, because of her young age and all the recent battles, her energy has become far too low. That means only 3 people have enough power. At that moment, Su's friends offer to sacrifice themselves and transfer their energy to Gigi. Gigi refuses and tells them it will kill them, but they insist, saying their lives are not important compared to everyone else's. Despite her refusal, they suddenly activate the spell, and all of their energy flows into her. Gigi collapses in tears and decides she will avenge them. In that very instant, her form changes completely, and her power rises dramatically. Like lightning, Chan activates the spell. The power of the 4 merges into one, and they unleash their most violent attack yet. At last, they manage to injure Lara. Lara erupts in rage. In a single moment, she uses her trump card, her hidden skill, dimensional teleportation. The skill succeeds, and everyone is transported to the area in front of the giant weapons gate. And for anyone wondering why she chose that location, the weapons gate zone is a region where magical and spiritual power is nullified. Everyone inside becomes weakened except users of dark magic. Yes, Lara uses dark magic. Within moments, she transforms into a different form and attacks Chan, injuring him. But Chan does not back down. He immediately fuses with Bai, and without hesitation launches fast, brutal attacks on Lara, striking relentlessly without mercy. However, Chan makes a reckless move. Lara exploits it and manages to seize him. She tells him she will not let him go unless he hands Bai over to her. Chan replies firmly that he will not do that unless it is over his dead body. Lara throws him away, then turns to the weapons gate and begins opening it slowly. As she does, Bai's power begins to fade little by little. Bai tells Chan that if the gate is fully opened, it will pull all weapons into it. Before he can finish speaking, Lara fires an explosive magical sphere. Chan tries to stop it, but cannot. The power is overwhelming. So he decides to use his final solution and asks everyone there to fuse with him. No one refuses. Within seconds, the fusion is complete. Chan manages to stop the attack. His appearance changes entirely into a majestic, overwhelmingly powerful form, and then he launches into the sky. Lara attacks him with a massive number of magical swords, but he blocks them with ease. He even uses the same spell and fires similar swords back at her. But the surprise is that this was only a distraction. In a flash, he ambushes her and delivers a crushing blow to the core where her magic is stored, triggering a massive magical explosion that finally destroys Lara. After that, everyone separates again. They use an instantaneous teleportation gate to leave the area, and each one returns home. A few days later, we see them all doing well. We also learn that Saki, the father, has remained missing since the moment of the incident. Meanwhile, the bond between Chan and Bai develops significantly, increasing their synchronization and combined strength, and their situation stabilizes noticeably. And in a final twist, a mysterious figure appears and announces that the time left until the tournament begins is nearly over, and that what happened so far was only the beginning. The true destruction has not arrived yet. And that is where the anime ends.